Hey folks, welcome back to Around the Yard. My name is Brent, and today we're in the pole shed. We got the bolt organizer kit here behind us. In a previous video I just did pretty recently here, I think about one or two back, you got to see kind of what I have available for starting fluid, WD-40, brake cleaners, yard guard stuff, windshield washer fluid, kind of the storage organization of that shelving unit that my dad and I built. This is kind of on that same vein of making sure you have on hand what you need, and you don't have to run to the hardware store for an extra 3/8 bolt, or like when we put that easy bagger together. It came with bolts and lock nuts, but it didn't come with washers. I thought, it'd be nice to have washers. So I come over to this organization deal, and I've got 3/8 size washers in this bin. And then if we go up a bin or two, this is quarter or 5/16 washers. So that fit on our bolts that we had, and it was as easy as coming over here. If I'd have dropped a nut, I could have grabbed a new nut. I've got in here lock washers, and this actually all started because I was building the beanbag boards, or the cornhole boards, a couple summers ago, leading into the COVID pandemic. It seemed like everybody was staying home and doing things in the backyard, so I made, I don't know, probably 40 sets of those here in the shop. And part of that was getting all the hardware set to go. So I was buying boxes of 20-pound boxes of screws from Menards and Home Depot, and then I was also buying carriage bolts and nuts and washers for the flip out legs. So this actually kind of came in handy for that. And then I had a couple customers wanted kind of rust-free stuff. So this is everything in stainless steel, which costs again a little bit more money, but so we've got, I don't know if you guys can see in there, I got lock washers, lock nuts, washers, carriage bolts, and then just regular nuts. So this is the size for the 2x4 frame, and this is for the 3/4 inch perimeter and a 3/4 inch leg, and this was working pretty good for me. I think it's a 2.5 inch carriage bolt. But then we had lock nuts and washers and regular nuts, so this came in pretty handy. So I'd load that up, and then I could make a couple of sets. So now we've got grade 8 bolts up here for skid loaders and excavators and anything that you don't want to break. And then basically everything else is, shear pin strength. So off to the side here, the bottom this is all my, oops, that's gone forever. This is 3/8 by 3/4 here. And as we slide down, we got 3/8 by 1, 3/8 by 1.25 inches. This should be 2 inch. Yep, 3/8 by 2 inch. And that's all the standard. I think it's the three. Is it 3 clicks on that? Let's see. It's just TC. I don't know if you guys can see that, but so it's just standard weight, nothing heavy, but gets the job done. We go up a row. This is all the 5/16, and we start with 1/2 inch and go up to 2 or 3 inch. Now we got 1/4, I believe. Yep, 1/4 inch by 1/2. And then I don't know what else is up here. I think this row kind of starts the stainless steel in the same idea. So pretty handy to have around. It wasn't terribly cost prohibitive to do this. The stainless steel was a bit more expensive to kind of put together, but I only bought really what I needed. The rest of this stuff, if you're building a project, 1/4 inch, 5/16, 3/8, that kind of covers your gamut. And then if you have the nuts, washers, lock nuts to go with them, you really kind of set up. I want to say a lot of this stuff from Menards, these 5/16 by 1 inch. There's a 36 count bag. I've used a couple out of here. You're probably looking at $3-4 maybe, or something like that. I suppose pre-pandemic. That's kind of when I got this kind of set up before the pricing went kind of haywire. But even if you're at $5 a bag, there's 10, 20, 30, 40, $50 or something like that. So maybe $50 a row. So I mean, there is some dollars here, but you buy it a little bit at a time. So I'm not saying go out and buy $300 worth of nuts and bolts that you may or may not use in the next year or two. But if you've got a project going, it's a nice thing to have, just to have those few extra things. Down here on this bottom row, we got extra balls for trailer hitches. This is the tooth off of one of the teeth, spare teeth off of the tooth bucket that I've got for the skid loader. Haven't found a good spot for that, but kind of looking at Bobcat to get a couple more teeth when it's ready to go. So kind of leaving this in a place that I can remember where I put it. Other things down here, we got some other grade 8 hardware that hasn't found a home yet, and then chain binder loops. So I've got standard weight, 5,400 pounds, and then we've got grade 70, and I forget what these are good for, but those are for the grade 70. The yellow color is good for locking down equipment on trailers. The zinc colored or silver colored, this is your standard log chain. So got a couple of each things. I've been building some chains, some custom chains for the skid loader mount on the trailer. Actually, if you guys are in the area, if you guys have a Fleet Farm or something nearby you, Fleet Farm does tend to run a sale on chain every now and again. It's their 16-foot lengths, grade 70. They've got 5/16, 3/8, and 1/2 inch, and they run it for something like 40% off every now and again. If you catch it on the right day, you can buy a chain. If you don't, they're totally wiped out. So, but it's one of those things. It's not advertised very well. You just gotta walk back to the corner of the store and find it. So, but yeah. So I've got 3 or 4 grade 70 chains, 16 footers. I think I broke one down into an 8-footer for the back tie downs on the skid loader and the case 445. So, at any rate, that's kind of this area of the shop. This is nuts and bolt storage. Curious if you guys do anything similar at your place or at your shop. Do you find it easier to have Menards stock all the parts that you need, or do you guys have a little assortment of bolts and nuts and whatever else that you need? So anyhow, let me know, and enjoy your day around the yard. Thanks a lot.